Fair. And Miss Fair, from what I remember, she'd always kept something sweet around the house. So when we would go down there, she would come on in, I got something for you.
Where did they live?
On Field Street here in Athens. Right? Both families lived. So she lived on, my mama's side lived on Wardell Street, and then Evie lived on Field Street. She would call us in and give us something sweet to start off right, because she didn't take anything. She meant stay in the yard, stay on the porch, that kind of thing. And she was a very encouraging person, and she very active in the church. She was at Ebenezer West where she went. I'll go to church Sunday. If you stay here with me, you're going to church. And she made sure that we attended church. But she was a wonderful person, an excellent cook. And from the time that I spent with her, her other sons would come in from up north and visit. She had one, Isaac, who would come in, and she bragged about them, and of course they was encouraging as well. So that's where I got the sport thing from.
Oh, okay.
And I was told at a young age that you want to go play football, can you? I said, yeah. Well, your uncle lives up in Ohio, up in Cleveland, Ohio. So we'll send you up to Ohio State if you want to play football. Get them grades and do what you're supposed to do. We'll send you up there, let you go to school up there. So I always felt good. I had a positive experience, but she too was very strict. She didn't take anything.
Did they grow their food? Did they have?
I can't remember whether they. Some of it, I'm sure they do.
Do you remember garden spots?
Yeah, they had. They would do some collards and stuff like that. They do corn and stuff like that. They would do that around there. Pepper, things like that. They would grow. But they was very innovative when it comes to knowing how to put a meal together.
Okay.
So it's good.
Some people that I interviewed indicated that they had cows and pigs. Do you remember that?
No, chickens now. I remember
chickens. Okay.
grandmother on my mother's side, they had kept some chickens that they kept. But I don't remember, because they lived here in the city, no cows and things like that. But they did have chickens.
Okay. And you went through what grade at West Broad? How far did West Broad go? And then
I think West Broad went up to like the 4th grade, and at that time, what they was doing was Lions middle school was about being born. So some of us, it was 4th or 5th grade, we ended up going out to Lions. And that was a great experience.
So you spent a couple of years out there, 2 or 3?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Harris.
Who was the principal?
Principal Howard B. Stroud was a principal out there at that school, and it was a great experience. They had caring teachers there. I remember one teacher comes to mind, Miss Gear, who had us. That was in the 4th grade, so out there, and she was a very positive person, and I enjoyed my time with her, and she would really encourage you. And they would assign seats to you back then, so you knew where you're supposed to be in the classroom. But it was a great experience going to Lions, because you got a chance to meet a number of male teachers, surprisingly, had out there. Mr. Amos, Will Amos, a number of those teachers out there, and they really helped to shape your lives as to how you should act and how you should behave in the school environment.
So a couple years there, and then you came here?
Came to this, that's when they was changing it over here,
to
this school here. And so I had a chance to come to one of the greatest schools in Athens, to Bunny Harris. And the first thing that they taught us was why they called it Bunny Harris.
What did they tell you?
And we realized it was named after some important people who had really made an impact in this community. So Miss Bernie and Mr. Harris. So we realized that, and that in itself, believe it or not, just little things like that inspired me, saying that we've had these type of individuals who had so little but did so much for the community, and that encouraged me to want to try to do right most of the time.
Okay. So tell us about this school, about Bernie Harris, and your experiences and activities, teachers, principals.
Yeah, Bunny Harris, I'm sure you know, was a great school, fantastic school. As I look back in some of the yearbooks, I can't believe at the things that went on here during then. Again, the idea was to keep you involved, and there was many opportunities for you to be involved in different organizations. I can remember a number of organizations, Future Teachers of America, the Littlebug Trivia Organization, just so many things that you could get involved with. They had competition on class levels in the gym when it comes to basketball and things like that. And of course, my pet peeve was football.
Okay.
So had a chance to meet some outstanding coaches during that time. Doc Holmes, E.T. Holmes, Walter Jackson, James Holston, James Crawford, just some of them that I ran into who really helped to shape my life as far as football is concerned. So that was a good part of it. But we had good teachers in the classroom. Some that stands out to me today, you take Mr. Taylor, Willie A. Taylor, who taught social studies, Ruth Hawk, again, Howard Stroud was here for a period of time, and Mr. Billups. We had a number of teachers up here who really made a difference in our lives. They dealt with you whole, and not just about if you come here, I'm going to teach you, but they was concerned if you didn't come, if you didn't show up, where were you? Where are you supposed to be? So I really appreciate that more as I got involved as an adult with other communities and all that, how nourishing it was to have people here in this school who cared about the total person, even to the point where they say, well, I need to stop by your house and talk to your folks. If you can't do thus and thus and thus, I'm going to come by and visit with, no, please don't talk to my parents. But they cared enough about you to want to make sure that you was doing the best that you could do, and you was where you needed to be when you're supposed to be there.
Okay. You mentioned football a couple of times, so tell us about your football experience and career at this school.
Okay. Played football, of course, back there during the time. You had the opportunity to play both ways. You didn't have a lot of players, so you had to play both ways. But it was a blessing to me because this school at that time was competing against some of the best high schools out of Atlanta. You take Booker T. Washington, Howard High School, Carver. Those schools had some of the best athletes in the state. And then, of course, we played against, over in Augusta, we played against teams over there, down in Macon. So we had an opportunity to compete against some of the best in the state. And I think that helped to shape my attitude and my skills toward playing football. Good coaches who cared about you, and I served as a guard on the offensive side and a linebacker on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. And I was very lucky because we played with some outstanding players. And I remember my sophomore year, I believe I was selected captain of the team, and I was captain my sophomore, junior, and senior year, 3 years.
That's amazing.
And was recognized as the most valuable player my junior year. Okay. Here, and that's unusual as a non-running back, or a non-receiver. You didn't get that recognition, but I was also given an opportunity to play on the next level, the college level, given a scholarship to Southern University to play football, but went to the Georgia high school game. And at that time, I remember Coach Holmes told me, he said, James, they didn't choose you for the All-Star game. And I said, well, no problem, Coach. I mean, I plan to go on and do my best on the next level. He said, but I'm going to send you anyway. So I went to Atlanta to compete in the All-Star game with a little attitude problem. I said,
hell, the chip on yourself.
That's right. I said, since they didn't choose me, I'm going to go down here and do, I'm going to train very hard, and I did train real hard, and I'm going to go down and do the very best that I can do. And I was fortunate in the All-Star game, too. Again, was the most valuable player and was the most outstanding lineman down there. So I walked away with 2 awards. And I remember that night when we played that game at Herman Stadium, I had several old coaches lined up talking to me. Come on, I want you to go here. And I never forget this strong guy with this strong voice from Southern University. I didn't know they was there. They came up to me and they told all the coaches, y'all can sit down now. He's going to Southern. So he said he's already made a commitment for Southern. But that was a great experience because, and I think it did a lot to say about the quality of coaching that we had here at this school. I was able to go to the All-Star game and walk away with 2 awards down there in Atlanta and met a lot of good friends, a lot of guys that I end up either playing with from Atlanta. They went to Southern or Grambling or other teams out there. So that was a great experience going out there to play football.
From your senior class, how many went on to play college football? Do you remember? Some of the names, maybe just some of them.
Aaron Hurd, certainly. Aaron and I went to Southern. O.D. Lester was another one from my class that was at Southern. And I'm trying to think, do we have anybody else that, I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but I remember those because we all went to Southern and played out there for several years. But they had great talent. We had outstanding talent here. Prior to us going out there, one of the reasons why we thought about Southern, we had James Earl Smith, who played here, and he went to Southern, and he was out there, and he was, believe it or not, he was the largest center in the United States on a football team.
Really?
He weighed over 300 pounds, and he played center, and he was out there about 350 pounds, he was, but he was a good size, and he was able to encourage us and help us out when we got out to Southern.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that experience, that whole collegiate experience at Southern.
Well, you all recall back there on that time, I don't know whether Ms. Casey remember back there far enough, but at that time, blacks was not allowed to play at University of Georgia unless you just walked on. So we had 2 separate schools when it comes to sports. You had, white and black, and I was fortunate to be a part of that experience where we had all black athletes, and since you had that situation, some of the best talent was out there in the SWAC. Those schools out there had some of the best black talent anywhere you would find. So